into the fourth dimension.
Hello there and welcome to the Total Mind Fitness Triumph series that we're going to be doing during this new lockdown 3.0. So the idea is that every day between Monday and Thursday at 1 p.m. I will be here for about 30 minutes and I'm going to be giving over to you some skills and different aspects of how we're going to cope in general, but also specifically getting through this lockdown, which seems to be that it's going to be a pretty long one. So the idea is that I will do it, we'll take it easy, we're going to take it slowly. We're not going to rush things. This is more of a marathon and not a sprint. And so it's really important that we build up our resilience, we build up our skill set and go through it day by day, one day at a time, as they say. So I'm going to split these sessions into two. The first half of the session will be a more formal session. We're going to be doing some breathing, we're going to be doing some emotional regulation, we're going to be doing some self-soothing, we'll do some mindful meditations, and that will be the first part of the half-an-hour session. The second part of the half-an-hour session will be for those who want to continue. People might want to just do the formal side and then that will be enough for them, and that's fine. So if you want to do that, that's okay. But if you want to carry on for the second half will be more conversational. You'll be able to converse with me. You'll be able to come on screen with me if you want. You can put any questions that you want into the comments, and I will address things directly during the actual session. So basically we've got kind of two halves to the session. Just to summarize, we've got a more formal part which we will be doing repeatedly every day, and it's really important that we remember that repetition is really important for mental fitness, okay, because we're retraining the brain. That's the whole idea of what we want to do. Everything that I'll be doing will be based in acceptance and commitment therapy or acceptance commitment training, and it's all evidence-based, and so we know that this stuff works. All right. Some of you will have some experience with mindful exercises in the past, some self-compassion, and other mental fitness things. That's fine. We're not talking about becoming experts or professionals at this. We're talking about taking things slowly on a daily basis to build up our emotional regulation, our resilience to what's going on here, so that afterwards we can bounce back in the healthiest way possible, and that during this period, which is full of uncertainty and full of fear, is abundant, and it's all around us. So we want to be able to take care of this for ourselves and for those that we're taking care of. So I remind you, please like this page, subscribe, and if you can share or tag or share it out with others. The more that we can build this community, the better it will be for all of us. So I'm going to move in a minute to our formal part of this Facebook Live. But just before I do, I want to stress that all of us basically are going through a very uncertain time. And without this, our emotions are going to be going up and down, just in a general basis. That's how human beings work. It's a human condition. Sometimes our emotions are up, sometimes they're down. Our thoughts are getting generated all the time. And it's really important that we learn to manage that. But when there's a time of crisis, whether it's economical crisis, health crisis, pandemic crisis, whatever you want to call it, that is going to be even more emphasis on these kind of things because of the fear factor that we're living in the unknown times. So I just want us all to take this into consideration. There's a lot of talk out there about mental health, mental disorder, mental illness. But the message that I want to bring across, and I will be bringing this across from the very outset, is that there is a human condition. And that human condition is that we will experience uncomfortable thoughts, that we will experience uncomfortable emotions, that we will experience uncomfortable body sensations. And it's really important that we learn to manage this. This is part of being human. And what we found in studies are if we avoid these things and we will try to escape them or fight them, we're going to be going down a slippery slope of unhealthy lifestyle. So the first thing that I want to bring to us from the formal part of our session is breathing. Breathing is really the base of everything. It's something that we do on a daily basis. But if we don't regulate our breathing properly, we can end up putting ourselves into a high stressful situation. So there's such a thing as the vagal nerve, and I'm not going to go into all the technical details now. We might do that in the second part of the session. But if we activate our safety mechanism, our vagus system, which connects to all the major organs in our body and the muscles in our face and our hearing, and is directly connected to our soothing or fight and flight system, then at least we can start training our mind and body to move into a safety system, a feeling of being much more regulated and balanced. And it's a very easy session. So we're going to start off each of our sessions with short breathing exercise. So I'm going to explain to you now that exercise. Vagal breathing. We're going to use our nose to breathe in with, as if we were smelling a very beautiful smelling flower. So I'm going to demonstrate to you and then we'll do it together. So we'll breathe in through our nose like this. And we're going to breathe in for like 3 seconds. When we're breathing in, we're going to use our tummies, not our chest. So by using our tummy, it means that we will push our tummy out when we're breathing in. So there's this kind of system, almost creating a vacuum so that we can fill our lungs with much more air. When we're breathing out again, we will push our tummies back in and exhale through our mouth. And when we exhale, we want to exhale about double the amount of time that we inhaled with. So basically the count that I will do with you every time we start this session will be breathing in as if we're smelling a nice smelling flower for the count of 3. We're going to hold that air in our lungs for the count of 2. Then we're going to breathe out through our mouth as if we're blowing out a candle like this. Almost making a noise, really push the air out with pursed lips and creating a kind of a pressure back to the throat. And we're going to count out for the count of 5. So I'm going to demonstrate to you now and then we will do it together. So I'm going to use hand signals. This will be breathing in, this will be holding in our lungs, and this will be breathing out. So I'm going to demonstrate now, breathing in, using my tummy, sticking out, holding, and breathing out. All right. So all together now, we're going to breathe together. Breathing in, holding, and breathing out. Now while we're doing that, I want you to just let go and just notice what's going on in your head and body. Breathing in, 1, 2, 3. Holding, 1, 2. Breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. That's halfway there. So we're going to breathe in again. Breathing in, hold, and breathing out. Wonderful. So we're going to breathe in for the final time, and each time we start this session, we're going to do 4 rounds. Breathing in, hold it, and breathing out. Wonderful. So just let that marinate around your brain and body, and just notice what's showing up for you now. What thoughts are showing up. There might be pleasant thoughts, there might be disturbing thoughts, there might be frustrated thoughts. It could be anything. Just notice them. You don't have to pay attention to the content of them, but just notice that there are thoughts there. Also notice what's happening actually in your body right now. Pay attention to that. You've just done 4 breaths. What's showing up in your body? What sensations are there? If you want, you can write them in the comments. Feel free to do that. Or just notice them. What's showing up in your shoulders, in your torso, your legs, your feet. And also I want you to pay attention to your emotional state. What emotional state do you find yourself in right at this very moment? You might find that you're emotionally anxious. You might find you're emotionally calm. You might find that you're frustrated. Maybe you're angry. Maybe you're joyful. Just pay attention to the emotions that are going on. You don't need to respond to them at this moment. Just pay attention that they're there. It's perfectly normal under the circumstances that we're living in. And a lot of the people that are watching this will be living in lockdown situation. And you might find there's a lot of chaos going on in your life. You might be alone. You might be with a partner or spouse. You might be having to work and deal with homeschooling. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of planning to be done. Each person in their own space, each person using the internet. Wi-Fi might be getting a little bit disturbed. Lots of more noise around you. People wanting demands off you. Caring demands. Maybe you're worried about your parents. There's a lot going on. And I just want to stress to you at this point that our emotions will be as if we're on an emotional roller coaster. And what I want us to realize is, along with that emotional roller coaster, we have thoughts being generated all the time. Those kind of what if thoughts, and I should have thoughts, and I could have thoughts. and I must thoughts. If you're having any of these, just put me in the comments. Let's try and build a community together. So in order to kind of attend to that, what I'd like you to do is we'll go into a little bit of a mindful exercise right now. So if you put both feet on the floor, get yourself into a comfortable upright situation if you can. You may focus on a little bit on the ground, or you can even close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to imagine that out there in front of you, you look around your room for a second, open your eyes, look around the room, see all the things that are going on in the location that you find yourself in at this particular moment. And I want you to imagine that everything that you see represents everything that matters to you in your life, right? Everything you see, every object, every space, everything at the moment. This is, for the purpose of this exercise, everything that's important in your life, everything that is really deeply emotional for you in your heart, everything that makes your life meaningful is around you right now. That is what it's representing for this exercise. So maybe it's all your favorite food and drinks and all your music and all your books and all the Netflix movies that you like watching. It might be all the things that you like to do, all the people that you care about, and all the things that you want to spend your time with. It's all represented by everything that's around you at this very moment. I want you also to imagine that over there are all the problems and challenges that you need to take care of and manage and deal with in your life today. That can be a lot of stuff. So especially in the time of this pandemic, you've got your work that you need to take care of, you've got the bills that you need to pay, you've got the food that you need to prepare, you've got childcare that you have to take care of, you've got parents and elderly family members that are really important. You have your own personal health issues. Out with the fear of corona, you might have your own health issues that you need to take care of, your own financial issues that you need to take care of. You might be suffering from a chronic illness, and you've got that on your mind. So there's a lot of things that are challenges in our life that you have to take care of. And that is there also. Okay, so we've got our whole room, and we've got everything that's really important to us, and we've got a little bit of a section of the room that represents these challenges and problems that we have in our life. And also another part of that room, we have all the real practical tasks that we need to do on a regular basis that makes our life work. So we've got shopping that we need to do, we've got cooking that we need to do, we've got cleaning that we need to do. We might have to drive here and there. Maybe you've got, your financial affairs that you have to get in order each month. Now, I want you to do this with me. If you take your hands, and I want us to imagine that these hands of ours are our thoughts and our feelings. Okay, these hands will represent our thoughts and feelings. So this could be our thoughts that are very disturbing, our thoughts that are joyful, our uncomfortable feelings, our comfortable feelings, whatever it is. These hands now represent our thoughts and our feelings. And put them together as if they're like pages of a book. What happens especially under the circumstances that we're living today. But this is general human condition, is that sometimes you get really hooked up by these thoughts and feelings. And we're so hooked by them that we totally cloud our field of view. Do this with me. Now, our thoughts and our feelings, we're really focused in with them. We're really hooked by them. I want you to notice three things. First, how much are you missing out right now? How disconnected and disengaged are you from the people and the things that matter? If the person you love were here, right in front of you right now, how disconnected would you be? If your favorite movie was playing on TV or on a screen right now, how much would you be missing out on it? Secondly, notice how difficult it is to focus your attention on what you need to do. If there's an important task in front of you right now, how hard is it to focus on it? If there's a problem you need to address or a challenge you need to tackle, how hard is it to give it your full attention? Third, notice how difficult it is, like this, to take action, to do the things that make your life work, such as driving your car, such as getting the cooking done, such as paying attention to your children, such as paying attention and spending time with your spouse, such as being able to work on your computer, such as being able to do your work. Notice how difficult life is when we're hooked with our thoughts and our feelings, how disconnected we get, how much we're missing out. We're totally cut off and disconnected, and it's hard to focus. It's hard to do the things that make life work. Now let's see what happens as we unhook from our thoughts and feelings. Just slowly move your hands away from your face. How much easier is it to engage and connect? What would it be like now if your loved one was in front of you? What would it be like now if you have to engage with things that are important with you? How much easier is it now to take action, to do your work, to talk to the people and connect with those who you love? Now, I want you to notice that your thoughts and feelings are still there. It's just that you're not totally hooked by them anymore. You've become more flexible. We've not chopped your hands off, you know. We're not trying to chop your feelings off or get rid of them. A big problem out there is that people want to get rid of their feelings, even the uncomfortable ones, especially the uncomfortable ones, the disturbing feelings and thoughts. They just want rid of them in their life before they'll do anything. But what we will learn in this series is that we can hold them lightly. We'll still experience them, but we won't be hooked by them. We'll be able to engage in our life, even though we're still carrying difficult thoughts and emotions, and naturally we'll feel that in our body as well. It's the story of life that things of value to us will also cause us some pain, because the moment we value something, the next moment we think, what would happen if we lost that? And so we have value and pain that go together. And when we're willing to experience that pain, we can be willing to experience the value in our life. And that's really important. So as I said, we're going to take this very slowly. We're going to learn skills daily, and we're going to repeat what we've learned so far. So that closes the experiential part of this session.
Into the fourth dimension.
Okay, so now we've got to the more conversational part of the session, and that is, what do you need? What do you want to do? We're going to be here from Monday to Thursday at 1 p.m. every day. And what I'd like to do is to create a community. So wherever you are watching from, please put in the comments. Let's kind of start to encourage others. You've got a lot of courage. You've come in here, you're watching what's going on, you're participating. So let's encourage others to do the same. So put your name in the comments, put maybe, tag a friend, maybe share this out if you can. The more that we can create this sense of community, the more that we can have some dialogue together, and the more that we can actually practice this peer-to-peer support that we can give each other. This first part of the series, we're talking about transforming our behavior and habits. And that's what we're going to be learning about. What are habits? What kind of behaviors do we have in our life? So a lot of people just talk about behaviors being things that people can see us doing. But what we will learn as we go on is that behaviors are also our thoughts and our emotions and the sensations that our body puts out. These are all behaviors too. So we've got a first viewer that wants to put up a comment, and that's Jack Hodari, and he says that was interesting and new. So yeah, thanks Jack for participating and for contributing with your comments. That's the kind of behavior I'd like to be modeled so that we can help each other and be part of each other. Habits. We want to go into understanding what habits are all about. And what we will learn is that habitual behavior is generated by an impulse. We do an impulse, we don't really give it much conscious thought, we repeat it again and again and again, and then it becomes almost second nature. And depending on what we're practicing, we could be practicing habits that are unhealthy for us, or we can be practicing behaviors that become habits that are healthy for us. So what we want to try and do in this series is to create a habitual behavior that will be in the long run healthy for us. And that's what the first part of this session is all about, is creating that behavior. It's not about talking. We're not going to be able to do this by chatter. We're only going to be able to do this by building that muscle in our brain. And that is what the first part of this session is about. It's about being in the gym for our brain. It's lifting the weights. And it means we just have to go through the motions. And these motions are the breathing. These motions are these meditations that we will do. All the talk and the chat and the explanations afterwards will come in the second part, this part of the program on a daily basis. So what I want you to do is, if you can, share this out, tag it out. Let's get as many people on here as possible. And let me hear what is disturbing you. What is it that you would like to get going in your life? What are your goals? What is it you want to try and do? What are your difficulties? You can write your difficulties in the comments, or even just come on. Say you want to come on and talk to me, and we can have a conversation on this live. It's not about therapy, but it is about trying to support each other. All right, so that looks like it's time for today. That's our half hour up. Time goes quickly, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Into the fourth dimension.
Disclaimer, this show is not therapy, nor a replacement for therapy. Should you wish to inquire about therapy, counseling, life, or executive coaching, please contact Dov Ben-Yaakov-Kurtzman at factcpfa@gmail.com, factcpfa@gmail.com. Dov Ben-Yaakov-Kurtzman is a highly experienced psychotherapist, executive business coach, and author of the book, Mind Over Terror, 3 weeks, 2 cities, 1 mission. With over 10,000 hours of experience and academic degrees in government, law, clinical social work, and a postgraduate diploma in psychiatry with distinction, Dov has the background to help you. He's also available for public speaking and corporate training.